Well, I think the most important thing that we as an industry have to do is to create more demand for gas of all types, whether it's pipeline gas or liquefied natural gas. That is the biggest pressure on us as an industry because there's a lot of LNG around, there's a lot of pipeline gas around, and we can have big shifts towards gas in certain economies of the world, primarily based around a coal to gas switch, which will have obviously profound implications both for carbon levels and perhaps more immediately the urban smog problem that's afflicting most of the Asian cities of the world today. And I think if we start creating systematic shifts in demand, then the global LNG business has a very promising future. At the moment, there is a lot of gas swilling around with not enough demand, so the pressure on us is demand creation above all else. Well, I think the revolution that LNG has brought to the world is that a customer now can source gas from pretty well anywhere in the world. And there are companies forming like Shell, having bought BG to create a sort of global gas major where one company can produce and supply molecules from anywhere in the world to a customer who may not know where those molecules come from. And therefore you have in that one equation complete security of supply and reliability of supply. So that's sort of one revolution. I think the other revolution is, can we get smaller and more flexible? And I think we're obviously getting smaller and more flexible at the regas end. Floating regas is sort of opening up new markets, smaller markets for gas into pockets of demand that perhaps hadn't been foreseen even a few years ago. Where we're not yet really driving forward is producing smaller scale production units in LNG that are cost effective. Floating LNG at the production end is not yet driving the cost down to levels that we need to be if we're going to have a really sustainable production system in the future. Well, I think the CWC World LNG Summit has brought together people from across the world, which is fantastic. It's not just a European conference or an American conference or an Asian conference. The room is full of the thing that makes the LNG business so wonderful, which is that literally people from across the world are interconnected by this great LNG business. And that's represented here at CWC. So it's been a pleasure to be here.